Well, welcome to this episode of Truly Rotten Tomatoes. I'm Declan, and I think all the guests here should introduce themselves in first name alphabetical order.
I think I'm next.
Yeah, that'd be you.
Beautiful, fantastic. It's your boy Hayden. Shout out to all my tomatards out there and tomatoites. Just here kicking it old school. I think that probably covers me off. What do you reckon?
When I hear that phrase, I think of you, and when I think of you, I think of that phrase.
Who's next?
That's me. Hey, what's up? It's Mitch. Shout out to my salsa. I'm pretty sure at the beginning Declan introduced us as guests, so apparently Declan is the host now.
I guess.
I'm hosting this one today.
I guess that's the way we're doing it in isolation. I guess it's a coup.
And I'm Morgan. Shout out to all my saucy salamanders out there. You know who you are.
They do. We've got another guest who's right at the end of the alphabet on this. Actually, sorry, we've got our guest. This is the first guest. Everyone else is hosts. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, sure. So, my name is, God, I don't know how to introduce myself as a guest. He's from Aunty Donna, which is a sketch group that you may know if you're between the ages of 16 and 35 and 80% male. He's, he does, sketches. He loves movies. And these boys reached out to Aunty Donna on Twitter, and he chomped at the bit because he liked the idea, and he's got nothing else to do at the moment. He's usually got a beard. He doesn't right now, and that's why he didn't let them film this podcast. It's Zach Ruane.
Thanks for coming, Zach.
Thank you.
Now, we let you, as the guest, pick the movie we were going to watch today.
Yeah.
And what did you pick?
So I picked, I went through the list. I talked at length with some good friends of mine. There was some great ones already taken. I was very sad to see Look Who's Talking 2 unavailable. So it went back and forth. There was a lot of votes. My friends, the vote pretty overwhelmingly went to Gotti with my friends.
That's good reason.
And there was this strange moment, and sometimes you need to ask someone's opinion to know what's in your own heart, because Gotti won overwhelmingly, and I looked at those results. We did it on a little Facebook chat, and I knew in my heart that it wasn't the movie for me. So I chose Ballistic, Ecks versus Sever.
Yeah.
It's a film I've never seen, but as someone who read Empire magazine at the time, I remember when it came out. I remember when it was coming out, and I have just been fascinated by that title for nearly 20 years now. My God. I feel like we can just talk about the title for the whole podcast.
Let's start there, because that was obviously the first thing that grabs you about this movie. Is the title? Is it a sequel? Is it part of a larger franchise? Is it a standalone film? What do you make of this title to begin with?
Isn't it incredible? I make YouTube videos for my job, and once I went to YouTube school and they taught us how to make titles, and the biggest thing they said, this is to people with 10,000 followers or more, so very small channels, not like movie studios, and they said, titles are not about what's in the film, they're about communicating what the film is to an outside audience. That's the core notion of what a title is.
Right.
And this movie, Ballistic, it's Ballistic, that's good.
It is ballistic.
It's good.
Definitely ballistic.
I'm good with the notion. I hear Ballistic, I go, you know what? I can handle Ballistic. This sounds like a good movie. But it's like someone sent an email from somewhere, some producer, I reckon they were going to call it Ballistic, and someone said, how are they going to know that Ecks is in it, and and how are they going to know that Sever is in it, and how are they going to know they're versing each other?
And I don't even know that that's a true representation of what happens. I mean, there is a little bit of versing going on. However, as we'll discover as we go through this film,
It's really Ecks and Sever versus Gant, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would be a better title.
And I don't think it is an exaggeration to say we could discuss the title for a great deal longer than we have already. Like there's a certain beauty in the way that those words roll off the tongue. And when you look at them all together, they sort of have a snake-like quality to them. Ecks, Sever, Ballistic. I don't know. There's something about those sounds.
Never has a title been so dryly informative and given you nothing. It is both terrible in the fact that it's purely function with no functionality. It is. I think there's other films on that list that I don't think it was that bad of a film. Again, we'll get into it. It's not a good film. It's a very, very not good film. But there are worse films. There are films that are bad, and this film is bad. Actually, I'm overselling it.
There are worse films out there, and we've seen them and reviewed them on this podcast.
I think there's worse films. I do not think there's a worse title out there than Ballistic. There was a review I was reading. I did a little bit of research on the film because I've got to be honest with you, I lost track and interest in the plot.
We
about
all did.
10 minutes
I think
in.
we all did.
So I thought at the very least I should read the Wikipedia. And my favorite quote on the Wikipedia was a review from, it was put on the list of top 10 worst movies by, what's his name? You know, the one that does all the reviews.
Ebert?
Roger Ebert. And he said,
David and Margaret.
And Ebert, and he said, I love this quote. He said, there's nothing about the title Ballistic Ecks versus Sever that couldn't be fixed by just calling it Ballistic. It's just, oh man.
I had the same thought, and when you suggested it, I hadn't really taken note of it on the list, so I clicked on it, and obviously my first thought is, what is Ecks and what is Sever? And I need to know this for it to make any sense. But the other thing that really caught my eye was that on the wiki it says, with a total of 118 reviews, the most for a film with a 0% approval rating, that makes it the worst reviewed film in the history of Rotten Tomatoes. So you really picked a winner.
Oh man, what a film. What a beautiful film. How did they come up with? And the other thing I love about it as well is, again, on the research, because I think I'm more fascinated by the idea that people gave years of their life to this. Yeah. and there's another thing in it where they described it as Bad Boys meets The Professionals, and I can't think of two movies that it's the least less like. Just here's two good movies and here's a bad movie that has nothing to do with those two good movies. What a terrible
Two rights
film.
don't make a right.
Yeah. The other key point to this one is, not only is it obviously a terrible film, but it somehow spawned a good Game Boy Advanced game.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a well-rated 9 out of 10 on IGN, had a sequel. People actually liked the Game Boy Advance game.
That's good news.
It's a good game. I played it for a couple minutes before we started recording this, and it was well worth it because I think my microphone sounds fine. But no, it is a good game. It's like Doom-esque and quite surprisingly good graphics for Game Boy Advance.
Right.
Should we just talk about that instead of the movie?
we could. None of us have played it though, Morgan. Just you.
That's all right. You guys can give your opinions
Why
on my
don't you just play it
explanation
and we'll
of the
watch?
game.
You can do all the hard bits.
You check in with me in like 20 minutes. I'll let you know.
Let's jump
what I'm
into
doing
the
in 20
actual
minutes.
film here for a sec. So I would describe this as
Just for a sec. And then we can go back to the game.
Yeah. Kind of like
Yeah,
a
please.
classic 90s action movie, right? Like it's got an almost music video style. It reminded me a lot.
Immediately, those shots of the skylines and the font and the heavy distorted guitar, it feels like Con Air or
I thought Charlie's Angels as well.
Van Damme's going to show
I'm
up any
very,
minute.
very sorry. I'm very sorry to say, but this is extremely my shit. Huge Hackers fan, huge
Okay.
Matrix fan. This was up the same alley. And I just got to say thank you, Zach, for bringing us something that I'm able to rate this probably up there with Staying Alive. I don't want to bury the lead, but this is one of the best movies I've watched on our list so far.
Yeah.
I loved it, and the music kicked in, and it was fucking break beats, and it was like you say, skylines and rushing over fucking water and
Didn't it feel like? Are any of you guys were any of you guys film students or
Yeah.
anything? I wasn't, but I know a lot of film students. Yeah. Didn't it feel
Well,
like?
hang on, didn't you say you went to
that-
YouTube school?
For 2 days. They gave us free wraps. But didn't it feel like the, you know, that one guy in film school, everyone else is making these arty movies about living in the suburbs, and there was that one guy that like just didn't realize that guns weren't a thing in Australian culture, and would just make his little action movie, and it was really, really good for a second year project. This whole film has that tone.
Yeah.
In it. Like it's like just these choices that you could see were really cool in. I'm gonna say the director's name, but I'm not gonna let that derail it too much. You could see that in KAOS's head, the director KAOS, in his head, he was like, "This is gonna be fucking sick," and on set, and then like the art department or the VFX people came and they explained it in pre-production. He was like, "Yep, that's great," and then on set they did it, and he's standing there looking at the monitor, going, "Oh, I just thought it would be a bit more." No, it's fine. And then just a desperate trying to save in the edit. Like that's this whole film. It's just like slightly disappointing practical effects and choreography.
Yeah.
And then
I was so interested in, so I always watch the credits of these, and I'm looking for any names that I recognize, and obviously it comes up and it's like produced by and directed by just KAOS with a K. Yeah. And I'm like, who is this guy? I've never heard of him. Single name, no last name. I had to look him up on Wikipedia. He's only made a couple of films, and the one he made before this was the most expensive Taiwanese film of like all time. So I feel like he's like big action director guy, but I mean his control of story is maybe where this film was lacking, because the plot is incredibly convoluted and I would almost say impossible to follow. Like I had to read the wiki summary afterwards.
This thing like a motherfucker. I'm gonna be the outlier again.
love it.
It was simple. It was good. It was fun. It was I didn't think it was that confusing. But you know, again, I'm a very intelligent kind of guy, so yeah.
But let's try and sum up briefly what the story is, and then go in horrendous, painful detail into some of our favorite moments of this movie. But I don't know. Can we do it sentence by sentence? Do you think we can sum up what's going on in this thing?
Absolutely.
Good luck, guys.
Do you want to kick us off, Mitch?
Are we going alphabetically?
All the characters had the weirdest names, and that made it really hard to follow. Like there's Vin and Gant and Ecks and Sever, and I think there was like another name. One character had two names at one point, and they had like a secret name. They're all these 4-letter like
okay, all right,
90s action movie names.
Stop making excuses.
All right.
Plane lands in Vancouver. Kid comes off plane and gets delivered to his mother. And the mother takes the kid back to her house. Yet, is that a full sentence?
That's a sentence.
Then the kid gets taken away.
Gets stolen.
Who wants to pick up? Stolen back by the father.
Stolen boy.
By someone
that's my bit.
Oh yes, no. First it's stolen by the father. Yes.
Yes. Sorry, it happened so quickly.
Yeah, and then someone walks in. A mysterious figure wearing a Matrix jacket with a hood.
Yeah.
Walks in
into the smoke
and in the smoke and despite this guy's best men standing there with machine guns going at her, she uses very mediocre, under-rehearsed fight choreography to take them all down, and she steals the boy.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about her choreography is she sort of performs it all in a lackadaisical motion. Like she doesn't even care. She's just hitting them and just knocking them away.
She does not change her facial expression at all through the whole movie.
No, she's what I did is I studied drama. I studied acting, not film. And sometimes in acting school, they wouldn't get fight choreographers in. They would just send the two actors in the scene off to say, go and make us a 20-minute fight sequence, and we'd just like make it and then bring it to the table, and then maybe the director would clean it up a little bit. Never have I in a properly budgeted legitimate film seen that vibe of choreography.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Lucy Liu and Antonio Banderas got together on the Sunday before they shot on the Monday, Tuesday, and worked out their choreography at like in his living room, while his wife was very quiet in the kitchen.
And you're right. It's apparent immediately that the budget of this film is like it's a big budget.
This is probably
film.
the highest
And
budget of any of the films on this list.
Oh, huge! Yeah,
I would say.
It looked quite nice.
It was to have the ability, and I reckon the time to get the shots to make the choreography look good, and to just choose to shoot it on a wide.
Yeah.
It's just. I've never seen a movie like I was always expecting the plot to be terrible, but the action to be okay. But the action was, oh.
Yeah, they seem to think they could cover up any bad action sequence by just chucking like a Crystal Method or any other big beat song over the top of it for 2.5 minutes, and we wouldn't notice. And
Yeah.
I mean, it worked. It worked for
little
me.
bit,
I enjoyed it.
yeah.
I enjoyed those parts.
There was basically
Yeah,
two types
same.
of music in this movie. There was like kind of funky 90s action style that had this discordant female just like wavering vocals in the background. And then there was like industrial kind of matrixy like Linkin Park instrumental style.
And can I interject quickly? I loved the music across the whole of this. I was about to say record. It's not a record. It's a film.
That's a tomato, actually.
And it was worked on by Don Davis, who worked on all 3 Matrix movies. But
Really?
perhaps more importantly, to listeners of this podcast, he also worked on Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol. So, a repeat offender.
I was a huge fan of the wailing female voice, that kind of vaguely bordering on racist Middle Eastern style.
Almost Middle Eastern.
You know, with
Yep,
like
yep.
a little bit of that
Almost like Halo.
a little bit Halo, a little like just a teeny bit Gladiator, like a little bit that Lisa Gerard Gladiator, but not quite. More in the Middle Eastern vibe. And it was just so spectacular because that was such a cliche in the late 90s, early 2000s. And to just apply it with no like thought, it's just that
Seems like
Sever's
they were
theme.
trying to capitalize on what the Matrix did. This is a couple of years after the
Yeah.
Matrix,
Oh
I
yeah,
think, right?
yeah.
So they were
Yeah.
very much trying to
2002.
do that.
But
in
just
this
with
film.
no waifu. Just
No groundbreaking special effects.
So where are we at with the story so far?
Oh,
We're
God,
a
we
minute
didn't get
in.
far.
We've gotten to the point that a little boy has been taken somewhere, we think in a nefarious kidnapping style situation.
And we've set up that there is a beef between the mother of the boy and the father of the boy. And they both clearly have a lot of money, and that they're flying their boy back and forth on private jets between cities.
boy.
But not enough money to get their boy some
Whoa,
acting
whoa.
lessons, that's for sure.
The
All
boy,
right.
the boy doesn't
Oh.
talk at all in this movie. I think maybe he says hello at the end of the movie, and Lucy Liu's character's like, "What?
You know
can
who
talk?"
else doesn't talk in this movie? Lucy Liu doesn't talk for 21 minutes, and the first thing she says is just the
she
word
does
run.
That's right.
That makes sense.
And then our male protagonist mumbles through the whole movie, so I don't know if you can call any of the words spoken in this movie
Yeah,
dialogue.
Antonio Banderas is hard work, and we're introduced to him now at a bar. He's mourning the death of his wife, which I don't know how recently that's happened, but it seems like fairly recently. He's sitting at a bar, he's drinking, and some special agents come up to him, and they're like, "Hey, we need you to be back in the DIA. What do they want him to join?
The
It's
DIA.
like the CIA,
Yeah, it's
but
the
it hasn't-
DIA.
There's a DIA, but it's like
What's
an
that?
underground shadow government thing, right?
It's the Dental Intelligence Association.
Authority Association. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Thank you. Thank you.
The other thing of note in this scene, because I didn't pick up on any of the plot, what I did pick up on was the fact that in the script, I reckon it read, he had just a cigarette dangling from his lips.
Yes.
And I can see what the intention was. The idea that he would fight people in a bar, throw them over the bar, flip them around with a cigarette dangling from his lips, carefree.
That's right.
But all I could see was a man desperately trying to keep that cigarette in his mouth. Like they didn't stick it in or anything. So it's just a man with pursed lips.
That's a character trait with him as well, because I think the next scene he's walking through the rain, still profusely like smoking a cigarette.
Great shot.
Yeah, I did love this
Beautiful
bit. This
shot.
bit was great.
So Miguel Sandoval comes up, who we recognize as like character actor from everything from Jurassic Park, and he's been in Medium and Clear and Present Danger and stuff. And he walks up and he does like the classic, like, yo, we need you to join the force. And it's like, nah, I'm out of the game. You'll never get me back. And then he's like, I've got this audio recording that indicates your wife might be alive or something. And then he's like, fine. He fights some guys. Oh, he's already fought them. He gets him to join back into this like shadow government force to find out about, you know, the kid and all that kind of stuff. And then we do like, it goes full music video montage style. It's like slow-mo walking through the rain, smoke. He's got a cigarette in his mouth. It looks real cool. It just keeps doing these crossfades and gives you like a bit of exposition.
Can I set that up a little bit? So he's in the bar and they're like, you need to rejoin us. And he says, nah, I'll never come back. My wife is dead. So he walks out of the bar, and that's when we see this scene, right? The guy, the like head of the DIA says like, sit back in the corner to his cronies because when he comes back, he'll kill you or something like this. But like he's assuming that he's coming back, and rightly, because he does come
It's
back.
very much the scene of the walking through. Just to come back to, I'm going to keep coming back to this second year film student
That's a good
analogy.
Please.
It had a real vibe of that second year film student in first year. All he did was rip off Quentin Tarantino with like splashes of Robert Rodriguez. And then sometime towards the end of first year, during like a film history class, someone showed one John Woo film. And then now he's laid in some John Woo aesthetic, but hasn't really moved past. Now it's John Woo and a bit of The Matrix. This is where he's sitting right now.
I love this music video montage thing where it's like crossfading and it's just like gun, badge, shot of Miguel Sandoval just saying like, you'll join this transnational task force. Him walking, like it was just such a funny way of connecting scenes to me.
There was a lot of like going for profound purely aesthetically. Does that make sense? There was a lot of like, particularly in the like the vaguely Islamic music that plays over Sever. Like I'll get to it, but there's a moment. I'm jumping ahead. I'm so sorry to ruin the structure of your podcast.
No, do it.
But there's a bit after she's machine gunned a bunch of innocent police officers.
Oh yeah, you mean after? Are you talking about the part where Lucy Liu commits violent acts of terrorism just for no reason?
Needlessly slaughters a bunch of police officers.
Yeah, sorry, Zach. Go on.
And then, like that's the first time the Sever, Lisa Gerard, Gladiator, vaguely Islamic music plays as she walks around and like shoots a few more people. And there's no like, it's like there's this thing of like KAOS is sitting there going, yeah, man, you're really feeling something now. I'm like, you know, that has to be attached to like some sort of story beat, man. Like,
Yeah.
And it's juxtaposed against like 5 minutes earlier, her coming across a civilian and saying, run, like trying to flee civilians out of there. And then she's like, but also, I'm going to shoot a machine gun into 30,000 people.
and then is
just
there
kinda
also
see what
that bit
happens.
where the snipers try to get her? Again, I've jumped ahead, but if
This is so good. This is so good.
if you are listening and going, geez, they are jumping around a bit hard to follow the plot. We're not jumping around as much as you think we are. So there's a sniper, and he goes to shoot her. This is a professional sniper. He goes to shoot her, and she's like sent everyone running. They're all running through the streets. And they're like, why don't you shoot her? And I think I'm misinterpreting because there's another bit that maybe this is the bit you're going to talk about. But he's like, why don't you shoot her? And he's like, I can't. There's too many people. And they show through her, through the sniper's like range. There's like 4 people. They didn't get enough extras for that notion. It's like, You can shoot Lucy Lou real easy right now, man.
I can't tell which one is Lucy Lou. They all look the
Four
same.
people. There's 4 people running. It's like if you cannot shoot Lucy Lou in a crowd of 5 people in Vancouver, man, you are not a good sniper.
That's right. And then you alluded to the fantastic part of this scene where the sniper's looking for her, can't find her, and then suddenly you see you're inside his scope and you see he finally locks in on Lucy Lou and she's standing there with like a bazooka. I don't know the name of weapons, like a big
rocket propelled grenade launcher thing.
Right. And he's like, oh shit. And then she shoots at him. He flies off the building, right? Because he's up in a high building to take advantage of. And he flies off, and there's this beautiful
the
shot.
best shot in the movie, my favorite shot.
Oh,
It's
yes,
amazing.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's so how do you describe this? It follows, so it's from above him as he falls off a building, and he flies down towards the pavement.
To a car. He lands on a car.
He lands on a cop car or like car of some sort. But the whole thing is beautifully shot of this guy falling off a building from above him, and he's just like waving his arms behind him in slow motion as he slowly descends and smashes. Like,
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know how they do
You know
that.
what that
falling
moment was? That was
backwards.
like in the Matrix. You know how Neo does that backwards thing where he like he does
Yeah,
the bullet time
yeah.
thing at the end of the Matrix, and that was like a
Yeah.
huge deal at the time. It was like iconic.
Yeah.
That's sort of what that felt like when we were watching.
They
that.
were trying to do
Yeah.
that whole scene was trying to do a Matrix.
But then right after
Yeah.
that,
they're trying to do a Matrix on him.
the wheel on the car that he smashes into also just pops off and like hits another policeman. I don't know if you saw that, but that was very.
It was very
nice
there
little
was like 3 or
moment.
4 moments in it where you're just like, oh man, I think KAOS. I think he might somewhere
He might be
deep
onto
down
something
knows like what went wrong here.
There's a point with all of these movies where I start thinking to myself, is this the worst movie and I'm okay, or am I just the worst person ever to watch this movie? Because there are just moments where they strike upon something and I think, yeah, I'm very confused, but maybe I'm just an idiot and maybe this is actually really good.
In that moment, you kind of go, "Oh, it's a miracle that any movie does work." Like you
That's right.
look at a movie this bad. I don't know, but like you look at a movie that's this sort of like all over the place, and you just go, "That's how every movie is made." It's just these disparate like moments, and then somehow like, how do you make something, particularly action? I have no idea how you would make an action film cohesive.
Yeah.
I know I'm mocking this film. If I were to make an action film, it would not be as good as Ballistic Ecks versus Sever.
Yeah. It really makes you appreciate the Michael Bays of the world, that you don't watch, like, those movies have a frenetic energy and you can dislike them because of their tone or whatever, but you know what's going on and you know like who wants what.
Yeah, they
and
flow.
you, by the end of it, you understand what happened in them. Like, he can shoot action. There's something about this movie where you spend the whole time just being like, wait, what? All right, so they're chasing each other, and then who's doing what? And by the end, it like there's a few like double crosses and flips, and I'm just lost at that point.
I want to talk about Gant. I want to talk about this character.
We did
Gant.
skip
Who is
over a very.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's move it back.
Please, you're our guest.
Okay, what I'm going to do, full disclosure before we carry on, I really wasn't following the plot. I lost interest at around the cigarette in the mouth action sequence. so I'm just gonna be like grabbing at these moments, these visuals, because that's how I watch the film.
Yeah.
So what I need to do now is let you boys run the plot description, and I will come in at the points that are relevant rather than jumping ahead. So let's go back to Gant, who I don't know who that is. I'll make.
Yeah.
He was.
Zach, I'm one step above you, I think. I know who Gant is, and that's literally the only detail I
I watched
have
this
up
movie
on you.
2 hours ago, and I watched it. I sat and I watched it, and I don't know who Gant is. I think it's the main villain. So
Yeah.
that's
You got
about
it.
how
That's the
engaged,
man.
how well this film grabbed me.
And we're going to give 10 points to Zach there. He's nailed it. So Morgan, tell us about Gant.
Well, this is my question, because I know that he exists. I know that much, and I know that his introduction also involves a gun that shoots backwards into the
Dude, that
person
was
that
the
holds
best.
it.
That was the best. All right, so Gant is the kid's dad, right? And he, I think, also runs one of these shadow CIA-esque organizations. He's got some whole plot about the kid and trying to use him and the wife and all that stuff. It's not really important, but after Lucy Liu's character Sever, as we described, kicks the shit out of like 20 guys with machine guns, she takes the kid, and then one of those guys goes to Gant on this bridge, and he's got a neck brace, which is funny automatically. You can't wear a neck brace and have it be like a serious dramatic moment to me. So
because he's just come from that battle.
Yeah, so he comes up to Gant, and he's basically like, someone came and stole your kid. And then Gant is like, well, you failed me, so I've got this gun. I could shoot you, but why don't you do the right thing? He might even do like a small monologue where he's like, in Japanese culture, when people have brought shame upon their family, they kill themselves.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think that happens,
He hands
does
him
it?
the gun.
No,
and he's-
that it's almost word for word that.
So he gives him the gun. And he's like, do the right thing. And the guy's like, well, I'm not going to. And he's like, just do the right thing. And so he holds the gun to his head, and it gets all tense and does like a dramatic push in. And then at the last second, this guy decides, nah, I'm not going to shoot myself. I've got a gun in my hand. I'm going to shoot Gant. He points it at Gant. He pulls the trigger, but the gun shoots backwards into his own head, thereby killing him. Gant knew he didn't have the guts to go through with it because he's an evil genius.
So you assume that somebody's like sniped this guy,
That's what I
right? You
thought.
don't think
I
that
Yeah,
the
I
gun
had to
has
watch it a second
shot
time.
him in reverse.
Yeah, I had to
But
rewind
they
it.
don't explain it.
They do show a close-up of like the back of the gun, and it shoots like stuff out of it. So they have it in there, but it happens so quickly that you assume that someone else just snipes him.
For a movie, just
You got to admit, of all the evil things to happen
man.
in a movie, a reverse gun. That's
I haven't seen that
that's
before.
pretty fucking evil, man.
Also, dude, why didn't you just shoot him? Why did you make a reverse gun?
That's
Give
like
him the
some
reverse gun.
John Kramer jigsaw
Hope
type
that
stuff.
he held it at exactly the angle that it would hit him in the head.
There's in the director's cut of this film, there's a very long scene just before them of them working on the lab on the reverse gun, like trying to chisel out a hole.
There was a real. I hadn't even thought about it, but there was a real there was a real fashion, because I feel like that's a staple. There's a staple of action films where you introduce the villain, and in that introductory scene, they needlessly kill someone. Like that's
One of their own men, usually,
Yeah, they're so evil
to show how callous they are.
Yeah, they'll kill usually one of their own men, or in the case of, I don't know if you saw the new Harley Quinn movie, just a brutally upsetting scene where he cuts people's face, very upsetting, and but they usually kill one of their own men. And there was a point in about the mid-90s, I think they've come back round to just doing it unapologetically. There's a point from about the mid-90s to the mid-2000s where they were like, this is a cliche, but I have no idea how else to demonstrate someone's evil. So we're going to keep doing this scene, but we're going to be creative with it. And there's so many like wonderful things around that era. There was really the best time for the killing their own men or demonstrating how evil they are scene. I think of the what's that one in The Phantom with the did you ever see The Phantom where he's like you need to look into the microscope to see how you've let me down. And then he looks into the microscope.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I can't see. And he's like, you need to turn the knob to get a closer look. And then there's spikes in the microscope. There's also Zorro had someone's head in a jar. Like, they were really just like playing with how you... And I think KAOS topped it with his reverse gun and no exposition to explain the reverse gun.
Do we think that the reverse gun works on the same level that, say, a face-off scenario or a Con Air? You know, like these ludicrous situations that they work for some reason. Why do those movies work? And
This one doesn't
is it
quite
because
reach
this movie
that
didn't
height.
rely enough on the reverse gun? Do you think that the reverse gun should have been a main theme in this
Yeah,
movie?
if the movie was about the reverse gun.
Yeah, we'd all have something to connect to.
Right. If it was called Ballistic reverse gun versus normal gun, then yes,
The
I
movie
can see where you're going
is
with it.
still about some sort of like injecting nanobots that go in and stop your heart from working and give you a heart attack.
Yeah!
So we still do
Can I
have
say
that
something?
aspect.
I didn't realize that until it was used in the very last minute of the movie. I was like, what was that? What just
Oh,
happened?
the injecty thing. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Oh, man.
I see where the problem is. So after Antonio Banderas joins Miguel, he gives him the quick debrief, and he's like, there's this technology, some bioweapon, maybe he even says in Berlin this place burned down and no one could find the prototype and all this kind of general stuff, and it's showing this stuff on the screen of an injection and then a nanobot coming in and stabbing into a heart, and it just dumps it on you in about 10 seconds, and at the same time they're saying things like Lucy Liu is some sort of assassin, and Banderas has this thing where he's like, oh, I know what she is. She's a DEA trained orphan class who had no parents, and she was just special mission trained to be an assassin, and then that's when it's you're gonna have to find her. That's your mission in this movie. So there's a really quick 3-minute exposition dump, and it all just gets thrown at once.
There are a lot of conclusions that are jumped to very quickly in this movie, including before that action scene that we were talking about where Lucy Liu essentially shoots up an entire Canadian
Oh, yeah,
wall.
with the ruthless terrorist acts.
Antonio Banderas and his new partner are sitting in a car just chilling in Toronto, and they hear on the CV radio calling all units, we need help, suspect is female. And he's like,
There's
that's
also,
her.
he's sitting there and he has this handful of different colored pills.
Yes.
And he eats
explain
one.
that.
And then the other guy just says something like, is that why they call you Ecks? And he just goes, I'm on a diet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And there's so much dialogue in this film where, tonally, it sounds you're I know that was meant to be that line. I know in this scene, there's a one, I'm going to jump ahead. I'm so sorry. I feel it's thematically it works. There's a line, I think I wrote it down, towards the very end. What's the name of the Gant? He looks at someone. I don't remember where it falls. I think he looks at Sever or Ecks and he goes, there are no innocent people, only killers and victims. I was like, wait, victims are innocent? That line literally does not make sense.
There's a similar one that Banderas says, I'm pretty sure, to maybe one of the side cop characters who's helping him, where he just says, he's like, you got a family? Yeah? You love them? Yeah? Then get out of this business.
Yeah, that was sick. He's also with that cop, and he's in that cop's house, and he's doing some very important work on that guy's laptop in his house. And he's doing something that guy's not meant to see, and he's like, oh, I better not look at this. And he just goes just say you weren't here. And it's if you're going to create an alibi, they're going to find you in his house using his laptop, and he's just going to say he wasn't there. If he just mumbles anything, he can get away with it. Doesn't matter what it is.
I just want to talk as well about the moment you were saying about where they were setting up the that she was the orphan class DEA agent. I missed all of that because all I could think of in that particular sequence was, boy, they loved the blue color grade in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
This is the bluest movie I've ever seen. It's bluer than Minority Report. And
It ticks all my boxes. I love that shit. I exclusively want to watch action movies between 1999 and 2002.
I love that music, that industrial, grungy,
So good.
techno, bomb funk MCs type stuff. You're like, oh, that era.
it is, and it's so thrilling. That music is so thrilling, and you're like, I'm about to see some fucking incredible fight choreography. You feel it and you know it, and you're like,
That's right. You hear that Middle Eastern voice? And this shit's about to go down.
The characters are doing they don't even it's not even impressive without the wires. There's one bit right at the end. I'm sorry to jump around. There's one bit right at the end where Lucy Liu is fighting the guy, and then it should be she jumps over the fence to a higher platform. Then she literally just climbs and puts her leg over it and climbs over, and they just show the entire thing. Anyway, go back. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Let's move on with the storyline. What we discover, because I feel like we need to jump ahead a little bit. What we discover is, whilst this young child was flown back to his mum, Actually, what was happening is that he had this bioweapon injected into him, and he was ostensibly, what do you call it? Smuggling the bioweapon into Canada, and now his dad wants him back so he can take the bioweapon out and then sell it to his like horrible customers that want to kill people. The bioweapon is some weird like, I don't know, microscopic like robot bug that resides inside your veins, and if you press a button, it gives you a heart attack. And so that's why the boy is precious, and that's why Lucy Liu has kidnapped the boy, because she wants to hurt old mate Gant.
I genuinely forgot all of that.
Sorry, Mitch. That's what the movie's about, more or less.
Yeah, thank you. God, I was freaking out. I was like, I don't remember this movie at all.
I missed all of this.
Yeah. I'm like,
I felt like the little boy. I mean, the little boy is acting really not perturbed by anything that's happening to him through this whole movie. And I feel like he is our eyes. You know what I mean? Like, he's who we're meant to be connecting with. Like, what is going on?
A little bit.
I don't think he's going to be traumatized by anything that happened to him.
He seems to deal with it all pretty well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I'd be freaking out.
All right, so we've done the setup. We've got Antonio Banderas is chasing down Sever. Antonio Banderas is called Ecks, by the way. I kept thinking his name was Hex, and then I was like, oh no, of course, the movie's called Ecks versus Sever. He must be Ecks. Hex is also like a very early 2000s hackery type name. Anyway, we've got him chasing down Lucy Liu. He finds her in a mall, massive shootout. The funny part is the shootout ends and the cops come. And it's over, and Antonio Banderas is talking to Miguel, and then he goes, "Hold on a sec, she's still here," and he's like, "What?" And then he just gets shot, and she's like, still just in the crowd of people. She just kills another cop for no reason.
Why? Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, when I think back to what is eventually revealed, it doesn't undo the fact that she killed his like best friend.
That's
and
right.
like
there's
nothing about like what she does in this sequence that is then really like, it's like a TV show. You know when TV shows used to be written kind of in real time, so then like a twist would happen at the end. Like there was a twist at the end of season 1 of 24 that you go back and you're like, that doesn't make sense. She was a good guy until 2 episodes until the end.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
and that happens in this where it's like bad guy, and hate to give it away, kind of a reveal, but it's like, she killed a lot of cops, man.
And it's more confusing because there's a section of just normal city police, but then there's also these guys that work for Gant who are like bad cops, and sometimes they'll start shooting people, and you're like, oh, that must be bad cop versus good cop versus Sever versus Ecks, which is again a better title.
The thing is, Ecks and Sever aren't really versing each other.
They are for about the first 20 minutes. And then they kind of like realize that they have a common enemy.
For that first 20 minutes, it's more like Sever versus the whole, like a number of people, including Ecks.
Yeah. Sever versus everybody.
That doesn't really roll off the tongue, does
Ecks
it?
is witness to Sever versing a number of people. He versus her for a scene.
But I'd say the first half of the movie is Antonio Banderas chasing Lucy Liu, whether they're in cars or on motorbikes or shooting each other. And
that's true.
Lucy Liu seems to just keep pulling out a rocket-propelled grenade launcher, either to start or end an action sequence every time. She just has a lot of those.
It's her go-to. So what, I feel like, you know, like the more we talk about it, the more confusing the plot actually is. You've got Lucy Liu who's kidnapped a kid, and we haven't established the reason again, maybe it wasn't understood, but the reason she kidnapped this kid was to get back at the bad guy, Gant, because he killed her son. In a bombing.
We find out that she broke profile and had a child at some point.
So there's lots of motives everywhere,
and
right?
that's like against the rules of the assassins.
Oh.
Well, I don't know about any of that. I don't know if any of that is true.
I swear to God I watched this movie, but...
I was going to say, I just had a memory come back to me of a zoom in on Lucy Liu's face as she's looking at a computer screen of like satellite images.
Oh, man.
For no reason, like a very dramatic zoom in on her face, but done digitally, so the pixels are just like horribly huge.
I think she's like rewatching the footage of her child being killed or something.
Can I throw this out just as a nice sort of icebreaker between following this very intense film timeline. Morgan, what would this is just something I'm toying around with. You don't need to take it too seriously, but I'd like to hear your input on what do you think of Louis Luque? It's sort of like Louis C.K., but it's like Louis Luque. What would that sound like?
Louis C.K.?
Louis C.K. No, Louis Luque. Louis Luque. Is that a thing, or is that? Does that work, or
Like Louis C.
it's like Louis C.K.
Are you going to do
But
the impression
Louis
or not? We're
C.K..
just rolling around this thing.
I don't know if Morgan has a Louis C.K. in the chamber. That's the question.
Or a Lucy Liu is hard to do an impression because she doesn't do a lot of talking.
Because she doesn't talk.
I'm on bated breath.
Yeah, she's a very like chill unit.
I mean, what is there about Louis C.K.'s voice that is
I don't know. It's true.
definable?
So I tried to find something that's... Declan, go on, please. Step up to the plate.
I was going to say, I don't think Hayden's asking you to do the voice of Louis C.K. I think he's asking you to like lock the door on some woman and masturbate in front of her or something.
That's a big part of his act now, yeah. Okay.
Oh, Lucy
Louis
C.K.
Listen,
Louis C.
Luque.
Okay, let's move on. Sorry.
It's got legs.
Yeah, so Lucy Liu, at one point, she actually calls Gant up. And she's like, I know that you were the one who bombed my house and killed my kid or whatever. And he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't know he was in there. What do you want? Can I have my kid back? And she goes, I'll give you your kid back for your life. And that's like the plot of the movie now. Now we know everything's in motion.
She's pulled the backwards gun conundrum on him.
Yes. But she's done it verbally.
She's done it again. I knew that was going to make a comeback.
And she also makes a paper crane, which I was like, I don't know why, but she's like making a paper crane, and it does come back right at the end. It's really important, really good symbology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice... I know we're darting right to the very end of the movie now, but did you notice after the shot of the paper crane was a shot of a real life crane?
Oh, yes, true.
And by life crane, I mean a dead mechanical crane that does, whatever cranes do.
KAOS is sort of like I think a mid 2000s Lyrebird. Like I think he just like collected everything, like just this idea of like everything a vague memory. If you had a vague memory of everything that was in movies in the mid 2000s, that vague memory would play out similar to how this film plays out. This film feels like a vague memory of all the other films of its era.
It's like when you have a dream and you try and explain it to someone afterwards, and you're like, it felt like it made sense at the time, but now that I'm saying it to you, it really didn't make any sense. That's what this movie is like.
Yeah, it just like those guys, again, back to the second year film student, really, really good at the action sequences, but just dumb as dog shit. And you're like, it's like, why is what? It's like the crane is a metaphor. It's like, for what? It's like, what?
Doesn't matter.
It's a metaphor.
It is like a dream. You try to explain it and...
Just is.
It just is, man. Like he thinks metaphor is the end of the thought.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You only need to get to metaphor. You don't need to say for what.
Let's push forward, right? So I feel like we've got most of the plot. I'm sure no one's understood it, but eventually Ecks and Sever stop versing.
That's our midpoint.
And become one.
Yeah. So there's a point where Antonio Banderas actually gets framed for killing all the cops. And he's like, he gets arrested, and then he's like getting transported in one of those like prison buses, and he sees like a motorbike go past, and he's like, oh yes, I know who this is because I've been versing her all this film. And of course, she's on the road with them. She drives past them. 5 seconds later, she's on a bridge above them with a rocket-propelled grenade. She shoots the bus, and Antonio Banderas fortunately was like, oh, this is the perfect time that I've like picked the lock on my cuffs and I can like escape this. And then they finally meet up, and they do have like a bit of a conversation. And then it ends with Lucy Liu killing everyone and going over to Antonio Banderas and like pointing the gun at him and then being like, if you want Gant or you want your wife back or something, Gant knows where she is. And then she just like throws an address on a piece of paper.
What is the address? I can't remember.
It must just be Gant's house or something, or a warehouse. It must be the warehouse at the end.
Just like where they have to go for the next like shoot of the next scene.
Can anyone explain
Yeah.
the part where she's on like a New York street and she gets a big greasy slice of pizza and then walks into a comedy club and gets up on stage and starts doing a bit
Here we go.
about
Yeah. And what
she
does
does
she
this
say?
bit about ballistic missiles and how they're hard to get on certain days of the week.
Yep.
But
And what does it sound like?
You know, I went out to get my ballistic missiles the other day.
and then it just cuts away before like any sort of punchline.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
super
yeah.
unfulfilling. That was a very unfulfilling scene.
All right. So at the end, I believe what happens when Lucy Liu has the kid, who I think is called Michael. There's one part where we see her like doing stuff on a computer, looking at like the soft kill, which is the name of this bio weapon.
That's right.
Terrible name again. The movie could be called Soft Kill. I would probably prefer
True.
that.
That's a very
But-
good point.
But yeah,
Sorry. Soft kill Ecks versus Sever.
and so we don't know why, but she's also playing with a bullet. I think she's like doing stuff with a microscope, and and you don't know why, but of course we find out at the end. Gant finally gets his kid back, and he does something and realizes like, oh, there's no soft kill in this kid. He doesn't have it anymore, and then. Lucy Liu. This is the very ending, by the way. There's a lot of fighting and explosions before this for 40 minutes, but do we really need to go into detail on those at this point? I don't think so.
All I think we need to say is there's one sequence where the wife comes back. It's revealed that the child is Antonio Banderas' child.
That's right.
And I believe it plays out. Let's note that this movie has lacked exposition up until this point. Up until this point, we had a backward shooting gun, and no one explained that to us, the audience. And then there is, I believe, within a minute of each other, there's a sequence where she goes, "He's your son." He responds, "He's my son." And then they go up to the car, and he's like, "You've got my son." And then Sever's like, "Yes, he's your son." It's so fucking ludicrous and changes nothing that this child is actually Sever's. Am I right in saying this is the plot?
That's
now?
true.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
is.
happened.
The child at some point, it's revealed that it's X's son.
Yeah.
But
It
that's
really doesn't make sense.
well, and even if it makes sense, it adds nothing. It's like, turns out that's your son. Okay. All right, nothing's changed. Still got to
but,
save
like
him.
there are no stakes because I've never met this kid before, and I sort of care, but not really.
I can't tell if they care either. I don't know if they knew this information beforehand.
Yeah.
Who's passing what to who?
Banderas was his wife was killed or missing, or he believed her to be dead. And then, we find out that she's not dead. She's like got a new identity, and she's with Gant, and she's got a different name. I think one of the names is Vin, and I think one of the names is Rain. Does that sound right?
Yeah, she's Vin. There's a lot of exposition dumped in that one scene because it starts, and I remember it because they're in an aquarium, and she spots him through the tank because she's just there for the beluga whales, and then she sees her dead husband. And she's like, "Oh my god!" And you learn.
Yeah.
Oh, that explosion sequence, I did not.
It was very, very tricky because, like, I think what it was, in fact, it was Shakespearean, right? So the wife is on one side of two sets of cars. Antonio Banderas is on the other side of two sets of cars. He sees one car explode thinking that his wife is dead, and his wife sees the other car explode thinking he is dead. And so they both think
walk away and just never see each other again and assume the other is dead.
thinking the other one is dead. That's right. But yeah, no, it was so
I
confusing.
legitimately, just because of the storytelling, there's a close-up of the hand like pressing the button that causes the explosion. And I thought it was Antonio Banderas' hand. I'm like, why is this cunt exploding all these cars?
It is thoroughly confusing. I will say I watched this 2 times in preparation for
How
the,
did you do that?
for the podcast. This
That
is not
insanity.
something I
That's
usually
like,
do.
That's like leaving a war zone with PTSD and then jumping straight on the next helicopter back in.
We've got a special guest. I had to make sure I knew what was happening because it was a confusing movie.
If there's anything more evil than a reverse gun, it's a remote control, and I think they proved that with this movie, because he clicks that remote control twice for 2 separate explosions, and isn't it ironic that his undoing at the end of this film is at the very same hands of a remote control? You guys notice
The
that?
very control that was remoted by someone
It all
else.
comes full circle.
It's a metaphor.
There's also a pretty cool fight scene in a train yard with Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu, like, shooting past each other to kill the people behind them. Like, they're flanked on both ends.
That was sick.
And they're just shooting.
That's meant to be... Like, there are a couple of scenes that are meant to be their Matrix scenes, right? There's the scene in the mall where Lucy Liu's, like, shooting everything in the world. And then you have the guy falling off the building with that shot we spoke about before. And then you have the, like, we're in a train yard, we're gonna... Oh, actually, what I did think is... So, the final scene of the movie is the bad guys rock up to this train yard where Lucy Liu has her headquarters set up.
A bad cave.
And before the bad guys turn up to the train yard... It's a very Home Alone moment, right? So they're like running around to trains and like strapping guns under all these trains and like thinking like, how can we trick these bad fellas when they turn up, and putting explosives in certain places. Sort of the prep before the wet bandits turn up. I found that really, really cute actually. But that was meant to be the Neo and Trinity, you know, with the massive thing of guns that flies in the white space.
That's right, yeah.
And they load themselves. It was meant to be that, right?
Yeah.
The thing that blew me away more than anything is that, like, the Matrix is built around wire fu. Like, it's an entire film. The plot is very complex and important, but it's all built around this, like, aesthetic, like, bold, like, fight sequences.
Right.
And then you think of something like Ong Bak, which is like entirely built around, or The Raid is a really great film of like, that is entirely built around that guy. The director loved a particular form of martial arts so much, he wrote a film around that type of martial arts.
Right.
This movie has that structure. It has all the tenets of a film, like particularly The Matrix, built around fighting, but they like forgot to get a fight choreographer. Like, it's like The Matrix, but no wires and very few stunt people.
Lots of explosions though.
But none of those like really like, you know, mind melting action scenes where you're like, I've never seen this before. The only one was that shot of the guy falling down and the camera falling down with him.
I think they made attempts that fell really flat, like at the end where they had that big fight scene before Gantz, you know, like his left-hand man or right-hand man fell into that pool and I guess exploded. They had a fight with Lucy Liu with a very small chain, sort of, you know, like 4 or 5 links on a chain, and they just fought with that for a good 2 or 3 minutes. That was meant to be something.
There's not even like, there's just like fundamental rules on how you shoot an action sequence. Like, this is an action film. Like, the only thing it's got going for it is the action. And like, they're not the right angles to make the hits land. And then it's not cut right to like, so like, there's like a bit where like Lucy Liu like goes to trip someone up and they jump. And it's just sort of like, they just do that bit. It's like you literally can feel them going, like the actors going, 1, 2, 3, go.
And now I have to jump.
So at the end of the movie, Lucy Liu has put the soft kill bioweapon. She's taken it from the kid. She's put it in this bullet, and they surprise Gant by she shoots him in the arm. And he's like, haha, that's like, I'm fine. I've got a bullet through the arm, but you didn't even kill me. And she really could have just shot him in the head. But I guess she wants to be like, aha, but now I click this button and it does a full like zoom through the body. And we see like a CGI little red robot thing in the bloodstream, like dig into his heart or something. And then he's like, oh God. And he has a heart attack.
I like that this, it's like a tiny, like, unseeable by the eye, like, thing in his bloodstream, right? But it still has little clamps, and it clamps down on a something, and then its other hand, that's right, this robot has hands, its other hand is a needle, and the needle goes into what he's clamped down and, like, injects him with something.
And it's just like, this is new visual information. They needed to set up the blood robot.
Yeah.
I know they set it up intellectually and they showed some shots.
Sort of,
But you can't just like the final sequence can't be like a 3-second animation of a blood robot.
Totally. Blew me out of the water. It absolutely blew me out of the water. I had no idea what was going on. That was ridiculous.
That was like meant to be there with the cop falling on the car. It's like, and then it goes inside his bloodstream as we see the robot with its little needle arms.
But it's so pointless because we've just watched a movie where I'd say at least 200 people have been just killed with normal bullets. Classic shooting in the streets. Why do you need this secret bioweapon if you're willing to shoot hundreds of people to death in a supermarket or anything? Like, just shoot the people you don't like. That the movie has shown that is the way we can solve our problems.
I don't think anything happens after this, right? So the happy ending is that Lucy Liu is like she's avenged the death of her son. Antonio Banderas is reunited with his wife and now son that he realizes he now has a son who's like 7 to 10 years old.
Yep.
And then they are looking at the city skyline of Canada and the movie ends. Is that what happens?
Yeah, they're on.
Have they been in Canada? Is this Canada?
They're in just Canada.
Yeah, the whole thing was set in Canada.
Yeah, Vancouver.
It was filmed in Vancouver, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was set in Vancouver.
Yeah, they mentioned. Oh, sorry, they mentioned Canada. I don't know if they mentioned Vancouver.
Something very funny about that. Like, there's something very like I don't know. There's like these great movies that can be. A lot of great movies have been filmed in Canada. Like The Matrix was filmed in Sydney, and you wouldn't really know. You'd know if you've been to Sydney. You'd recognize a few buildings, but it feels like Chicago. Like, it feels like their world. There's just this real tenet of like shit films,
Yeah,
where it just feels set in the place they got the tax breaks.
they
for.
weren't able to disguise it enough, and so they were like, "All right, we better slip on a little bit of dialogue that's like, welcome to Vancouver," which one guy does say, or he says, "Welcome to Canada," or something like this.
Why? You just can't have an action movie set in Vancouver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's too nice.
It's like I still remember the this is a weird reference, but the Power Rangers the movie.
Hell yeah.
And I didn't realize movies got made in Australia. And the first time I realized that films got made in Australia was I'd just been on a holiday to Sydney with my family and gone to Darling Harbour. And I was watching Power Rangers the movie. And they're like just in Darling Harbour. It's like, it's
in front of the Opera House.
Sega Centre.
In the Ken Doan gallery.
It's just like, this is Sydney, man. It's exactly the same level of just like it's less about the money, just not having the filmmaking skills to not make it set in Vancouver or Sydney.
The movie does end with Antonio Banderas. I think he's playing with a paper crane and he's standing on a giant crane, and we just have like this sweeping helicopter shot. Oh, also this song plays.
Yes, good song.
Anytime by Mary Griffin. And it doesn't really match the tone at
Tonally,
all.
so like I've never seen it more far off the mark. You think about the Matrix ending with Rage Against the Machine, and this movie ends with that.
Again, I watched the director's cut, and Antonio Banderas flies up towards the camera at the end of that.
Is it what do you think they would have called the second one? Because the title so oddly feels like it's setting up for a sequel, but
Absolutely.
the film does not. Like the film,
The title it also turns out to be a lie because they're not
and
versing,
they're not,
are they?
and they're just
I mean,
not.
they're really quite
it's
friendly.
not even that Batman versus Superman thing where they're versing and then, or the entire movie. It's got this whole thing where it's like, even though they fight from time to time early on, I feel like when a movie is called versus, like Batman versus Superman gets a lot of flack, namely because it's not a great film, but it gets a lot of flack. But the two people versus, like, there's ideological difference. Batman doesn't like Superman. This movie, even though they fight, it's kind of incidental. Like, I was expecting this, like, Ecks is this guy, and this is everything he represents, and Sever is this person, and this is everything she represents, and then they're gonna. But it's just like, it's kind of like a cool.
They very quickly find that they have a common enemy, and they don't really work against each other for much of the film.
Like, he should have known it was his kid from the start, and then like
To raise the stakes,
she
right?
steals his kid.
Oh yeah,
Why didn't she steal his
he'd
kid?
want to get his kid back.
And then the twist is because he had this poison in him, and she was trying to save
right.
him. That's interesting. That's the twist.
Damn, he's
We
done
need
it.
to get you in the writers' room, man.
They need him more than me.
Punch
in the
this thing
writers'
up. So that's the film. But before we go through and rate it, I feel like we should maybe take advantage of the fact that we have Zach as the guest. Do you mind fielding a few questions about what's going on with you and Aunty Donna at the moment? I'm springing this on you now.
There's a fair bit I can't tell you, but
That's fine.
I'll
in,
make it fun and
in
vague.
this climate, in this economy, what are you able to do, and what are you guys looking at doing?
A lot of this. Luckily, we filmed some stuff recently, which we can't talk much about. So we filmed some stuff that we're working on, and we're just sort of working on post, which luckily you can do on your laptop and on Zoom. So we're working on that, and that'll all be announced in time. We shot a bunch of sketches for Rove's television show last year, so we're currently just releasing that on YouTube.
And can I say just quickly, I saw purely coincidentally, I'm really into board games at the moment, which is just a weird thing, and maybe because I've been YouTubing board game reviews. Your sketch, the board game sketch came up, and I was like, oh yeah, that's me when I try and teach people how to play board games. Yeah, which is embarrassing.
Yeah,
because
it's
it's so
real.
lame. But God,
I'm in a regular board games night too, and it's just like my friend sent it to me and was like, have you seen this? And it was just like word for word stuff that's happened to us recently. So it's one of those true to life sketches.
Oh, that's great.
Haven't you guys also been getting into marble racing as well?
yes, that's right.
Yeah, very into marble racing. But there's also just a lot of podcasts. We're doing our podcast. I have a podcast with my friend Mish Wittrup that I do, which is recapping season 1 of MasterChef Australia as though it's from the 90s. So we're in 2008 or whenever it came out, and just we are recapping it in real time. So it's filled with dramatic irony. We took a little bit of a break, but we're going to get back into it, and I can't wait to talk about how there's never going to be a pandemic in our lifetime and things like that.
Is this in real time in the sense that you're recording the podcast as you watch it?
No. So we'll watch 3 episodes, and then we will recap them like we watched them on the telly. And the whole idea is they're these found tapes of a podcast we made in 2008, and like cool. So we hate Julie, and we know Poe's gonna win, and just all great stuff. It's way too niche. I needed to do something for me, you know.
You have to. Again, in this climate, in this economy.
Exactly.
What's the most niche thing you think you've listened to in terms of podcast? I listened to a Ben Russell podcast where he watched this show called The Bite Club.
The Bite Club was that was a great podcast. We did a little cameo on it, and it literally we were just sitting there for an hour while he recapped an episode. That was definitely up there. I've got to say, recapping a season from 10 years ago of a reality show as a personal choice was not one that was going to garner new fans. And I'm a big theme park freak. I could go on for hours. So there's a podcast called Podcast the Ride, which I love, which is literally they'll just talk for an hour and a half about a Disneyland ride each week.
Wow.
That is not for many people, but it is for me.
Sweet. All right. Well, at the end of the podcast, Zach, we normally like to just give a quick rating and say if we agree if this is a truly Rotten Tomato or not.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna say personally.
Define what makes it rotten and not right. It's a threshold of 4.
Yeah, I think it's basically anything under a 5.5 or a 6 is considered rotten. Basically, if you think that it was a less than 6 out of 10 film, then it's truly rotten. And I definitely agree that it is. I actually enjoyed this one more than many of the ones we've watched so far. So I'm going to give it like a good 3.9 out of 10. Not quite a 4, but getting up there.
I think I really threw you guys a lifeline with this choice. Yeah. I think you went in the depths of some terrible shit.
Yeah.
I could just feel it, even the way you guys were talking about this film, because I watched it, I'm like, this is a rat shit film. And then I joined this podcast, I came onto this podcast, and you guys were like, there was one shot that was good. There was one shot. I'm like,
Hey,
these
that guy
guys are already
falling
broken.
was sick.
I can't wait to check in with them 20, 30 films from now.
Although that scene in Police Academy 4 where they were like jumping from one hot air balloon to another, that was pretty impressive.
That
right?
was very impressive.
It wasn't in slow-mo, and there was no rain or cigarettes or also falling off a building, but
KAOS would have shot the shit out of that scene.
He
Give him a
would've
Police
shot that.
Academy movie already.
Morgan, what do you say?
Yeah, look, no, I'll throw it I give it a 3.2 out of 10. I was confused most of the time watching this movie. If it weren't for the fact that Zach was our guest, I really would have just skipped this one after probably 10 minutes. It was really, really difficult to get through. The big beat music when Lucy Liu was fighting and committing her acts of terrorism, very entertaining. The reverse gun, as we've mentioned.
A highlight of the film.
Also a highlight. But yeah, no, I'm going to give it whatever I gave it, which is truly rotten. What do you got, Mitch?
All right. Okay.
I'm ready.
Hear me out on this one.
Oh, good. I like this. Au contraire.
I like gun kata movies. I liked Equilibrium. I like any movie with a leather jacket.
Jeez.
In the end, it didn't make a lot of sense, but I was laughing a lot. I was impressed that there was an action scene. Like, anytime that I was like, all right, we're really in the shit here. I don't know what's happening. You know, when you have Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu shooting people back to back, I don't know. I feel like that's a 6 out of 10. So I'm giving it a passing grade.
Wow.
It's my dog.
5.8. 5.8. Okay.
Look, I'm gonna say this is not truly rotten.
Oh.
This is the second film that I think is not truly rotten, and see, I think it's on par with Staying Alive, which I think I gave a 6. Retrospectively, once we changed the way that things were modeled, it went from a 5 to a 6. So I'm gonna give this I'm gonna update Staying Alive and give that a 6.5, and I'm gonna give this a 6.4.
You can't do that.
I just
Come
did.
on now.
I
What
literally
is
just
this?
did.
You guys need to, can I just say, I'm telling you right now, boys, you need to mix it up and watch a couple of good films. 'Cause if 12 Years a Slave is a 10, this movie is not 4 off of that. You have lost the forest for the trees, guys.
No, it's a different scale.
Yeah.
This is more than halfway. This film, you are saying this film is more than halfway.
No. What I'm saying is this film is more than half of Hackers, which is a 10.
Okay. Hackers,
It's my own personal scale.
Hackers, 12 Years a Slave. Absolutely. Hackers is a 10. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, Zach, what's your rating on this one?
A lot of pressure. I feel like I want to say my big thing with Rotten Tomatoes, the most often misunderstood thing about Rotten Tomatoes, it is an aggregate of good or bad, not an average of the scores that are given. That's why often films like Marvel films have never been certified less than fresh. Marvel films often get like 90% and stuff.
And we all know Marvel films are terrible, as is Jon Favreau.
Hey.
Oh, I love Chef.
You watch yourself, Aiden.
Sorry, that's an ongoing beef we have on the podcast. I hate Jon Favreau and
And I
Marvel
love
films.
John Favreau.
Yeah, that's fair, but I love
For an
Chef.
episode that hasn't come out yet and won't for weeks.
That's exactly right.
But I think that in the same way that like Marvel can get a 90% by being all 3 stars, it's a whole bunch of 3 stars, or get it a really good fresh score. This film, I don't think this film deserves a 0, But I don't see how any one of the 120 people reviewing it could give it a good score. So I feel like it is unfairly given a 0 based on the limitations of the fresh system. That being said, it's not a 6. This is a film where if the action was good, I would forgive how terrible the plot is. But the action is not good. It is a bad action. It is badly shot. It is badly choreographed. There's not a single wire used. It genuinely feels like, I said it before, there is a sequence on a rooftop where Ecks is fighting Sever, where I swear to God, Lucy Liu and Antonio Banderas got together the Sunday before the Monday that they shot it, and they worked out the choreography themselves. And then because of that, KAOS had not done a shot list. He just shot it on 2. He got it once in a wide and once in a mid, and then just cut between the 2. The movie is I would say a 2.5,
Wow.
2 out of 10.
Different strokes for different folks. What can we say? I mean, we invite someone onto our podcast and they come and disrespect a great film like this. It's fine. I mean, look,
I love Equilibrium. I love a blue. I think that it was a great time in film where they scanned everything onto an iMac and made it blue.
No, what they did with this one is they just got one of those old iMacs, the bubble ones, the coloured ones, and they just projected it through the blue plastic and then refilmed it onto film through the plastic of the back of that iMac.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't want to be that guy because I don't believe this, but you know how people say like a film needs to say something, it needs a theme that people can take something away from, something that they can think about. Even most of the films we've had have had some sort of like thematic thing that you can take away from. Did this have any statement to make? Did this have anything to think about?
Absolutely. You can smoke cigarettes in the rain. You can smoke cigarettes while you're fighting, but don't smoke cigarettes in front of little kids if they're shaking their head at you.
It's so true.
That's a lesson.
I think that's
a
something
very
we can
profound
all
message.
relate to.
I think, I as a guest here, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to come here. And I think I leave this film a better man, knowing once again that there are no innocent people, only killers and victims.
That's right.
All right.
Awesome.
That's enough. Tune in next time. Thanks to Zach.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us,
Thank you
dude.
so
That's
much,
very,
man.
very
So much for
appreciated.
coming.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Hey, you've listened to Truly Run Tomatoes. See you, Salsa.